What's on YouTube? It's PTT back at it with another Division video. Today guys we talk Last Stand and the 1.6 update, and I'm going to give my thoughts and impressions about the update so far. So we're going to talk about my first 24 hours and kind of talk about whether Last Stand 1.6 is good or bad. So first of all we're going to talk through the first 24 hours, but before I get there I want to give a massive congratulations to each and every single one of you that tuned into the official Division stream and donated to the MS Charity Fund. And on a personal note guys, I really do want to thank each and every one of you that donated to the cause while on my personal stream. You know, MS is one of these diseases that besieges an awful lot of people. The money that's been donated in the past 24 hours, it's been an incredible amount, and I'm sure it will be put to good use. Now then, on with the video. As I said, my first 24 hours in the update and my thoughts and impression on it. So up first, I did what I think a lot of people did, and they jumped into opening all of their saved caches. Now, for me, I was personally hoping to finally get my hands on that elusive Urban MDR, and, well, guess what, guys? I got boned. That's right. After saving up all them caches, I got a ton of short bow knee pads, Pharaoh's masks. I actually got a Barrett's chest as well, but I didn't get an MDR. Neither did I get a Tommy gun, which was kind of sad to say that in the first 24 hours, I've opened near enough 20 caches that will give me an exotic, and I didn't get two of the things that I needed to finish off my collection. However, I did get a golden rhino, so, you know, one of the weapons out of the three I was missing I got, so I suppose that is a good thing. There's plenty more chances, I guess, to get these exotic caches and try to get the MDR, but no, my RNG, it's probably going to be like Division 2 or Division 3 by the time I finally get one. Up next then, myself and Weege, we ran a little bit of the Dark Zone. We went into DZ 7, 8 and 9, and we picked up ourselves a few new appearance items, and we managed to survive several rogue timers, which was really cool. Overall, we had a tremendous amount of fun trying to roll through the new contamination events. We even got a chance at one of the new supply drops before eventually calling time in the new DZ and moving on. Up next, we jumped into Last Stand, the Division's new dedicated PvP mode, and while yes, I had a few games on the PTS in week 2, it honestly felt 100% better than the version I'd played on the PTS, so I personally was very, very happy. As a team, we won several games in a row, and not by any small margin either. In one case, we actually smashed the opposition by several thousand points, and honestly, it was a great feeling. After a couple of games then, with the team, we joined up with forces of the Clancy Elites, and we had our very own Ryler or Taylor come and jump in with us, and we played a few more games. Now, you guys know Taylor, obviously he's had a tremendous amount of playtime in the PTS, so he ran through a few of the finer points on Last Stand with us, and we were able to go ahead and win several more matches, while also proving just how important the PvE aspect of Last Stand can be when deciding who will win. Now, I've had a lot of questions about Last Stand, okay? There was a lot in chat last night asking about the kind of finer points of setting up the fortifications and activating the kind of bonuses that you get. Now, at the moment, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but what I will try and do, guys, is set up kind of a one-on-one with me and Taylor where we can actually go through a couple of the questions you guys ask and hopefully try to answer them. So if you've got any specific questions relating towards Last Stand and how the mechanics actually work, let me know in the comment section down below and I will endeavour to get that video done ASAP. Now, moving on then, Taylor had to drop out, okay? After however many games, he had bits to do, so he jumped off. We got the band back together, this time hoping for and completing a legendary mission. And I have to start off this little segment, guys, with a few expletives, yeah, like, holy shitballs. These missions are one tough batch of cookies, okay? We spent 2 hours, 42 minutes doing legendary napalm, but we finally did it, and it was a great feeling, you know. It was a grind, it was hard, but it was different, and it was so cool to actually have some PvE content that wasn't just AI aimlessly running at you coming out the same doors. They actually think, okay? Now obviously that's because the devs have taken the AI from the hunters in survival and basically applied it to every single NPC in legendary mode, and it's awesome, guys. It really is. If you haven't tried it yet, I definitely recommend you go and do so. Now, after completing Legendary Mission, we jumped into a few more games of Last Stand before finally summoning up the courage to attempt the new heroic Incursion. And again, guys, I have to shout out holy shitballs here because this Incursion is by far, in my opinion, the best we have had to date. Now, overall, last night I think we were streaming for a little over 7 hours, and we plan to do a lot more streams like this, okay? So, guys, if you want to come and tune in when we are live, twitch.tv/P3T3TT. If you haven't done so already, come drop us a follow. You'll get a little notification when we're live. You can come jump in, you know, just see how much fun we have, because honestly, I think this update is going to be really, really big for us, especially as a team and me personally. I love it. I think it's the best update we've had so far. So, yeah, make sure to come and tune in for that. Now then, guys, let's get into the whole nitty-gritty of what I think is the best update and expansion the Division has had to date. Starting off with my thoughts on Last Stand. Like I said before, I played a few games in the second week of the PTS, and while it was fun, a lot of changes have happened since then, and I was truly surprised by how good this game mode felt. Rocking in a dedicated PvPvE mode like Last Stand with normalised gear really did bring back my enjoyment and love for PvP in the Division. Not only because it actually felt balanced for once, but because for the first time in months I actually felt like I was getting rewarded as a player for good skill and not actually being punished for running a set that kind of wasn't deemed the meta, you know? We all know that Alpha Bridge was the meta in the last update. If you didn't run it, you struggled, and it kind of felt like you were penalised if you tried to have any build diversity in previous updates. That's not there anymore, and it feels really, really good. Now, overall, I had a great night in Last Stand, and I truly see myself playing this game mode every single night in the coming months because I absolutely love it. But I do have a few concerns about Last Stand. Now, I want to save it till later and talk to you about them at the end because they're not really Last Stand issues, but issues with the way in which the likes of skill power have changed things with this update, how the likes of reviving a teammate has been increased, and like I said, these aren't really specific Last Stand issues, but they do, in my opinion, hinder the great experience that, as agents, we want from Last Stand, and so yeah, I'm going to touch on them later, guys, because I think they're important. Moving on to Legendary Mode. I said earlier that these missions are incredibly difficult, and I'm in it, guys. It took us nearly 3 hours to complete Napalm on this difficulty, but it was honestly one of the best PvE experiences I have had ever, okay, in any PvE environment. And to be honest, I know some of you guys might not like this, but that includes the likes of a Destiny raid. Now, you guys know me, thousands of hours in Destiny, and I know that a Destiny raid and a Legendary mission in the Division are two totally different things, but the experience you get out of a mission like this is not just kind of high intensity, but it's highly challenging as well. One that you can't really make easier just by learning the mechanics and cheesing it. Now, the reason for this is, like I said earlier, the dev team have taken the Hunter AI from Survival and they've added it to all the NPCs in Legendary Mode. And it's no joke, guys. Honestly, right? The NPCs are so intelligent in this mode, it's like playing a form of PvP, and you have to really rely on good team builds and good team tactics to complete it. Now, I'm going to be aiming to bring you guys some guides on the Legendary Mode in the hope of making it easier for you all if you wish to give it a go in the next week or two. But to be honest, guys, I do recommend do what we did. Go in blind, have some fun, work things out as a team, and enjoy the new experience. Moving on to the new Incursion then, I really don't know what to say because I don't want to say too much. You know, I don't want to ruin the experience for players who haven't yet completed it or given it a go. So I will say only this. Go work as a team. Try it out, and if you still have yet to complete it, then check back on the channel for a full guide on how to complete all of the different rooms and the mechanics involved in it in about a week or so, because I do want to give you guys the chance to actually experience it like we do, try and figure things out as you go along. And without a doubt, in my personal opinion, this is the best Incursion we've had to date, and I think that there are a lot of different ways to complete it. Although the mechanics remain the same, there are a few different ways around each mechanic. You know, we tried last night, for example, going back to the old smart cover meta. We actually found a use for mobile cover in the game that's not just, you know, wall glitching, which was pretty cool, and I kind of enjoyed it. But yeah, guys, go check out the new Incursion if you haven't yet, and come back in a week or so if you haven't completed it and you want to check out the video that will give you the hints and tips that we find useful. Now then, let's talk about the beautiful new addition to the Dark Zone. That is DZ7, 8 and 9. If you've yet to go and explore the new Dark Zone, then I highly recommend you doing so, with the new areas including vast underground spaces and a huge amount of open topped roofs. The Dark Zone areas are truly beautiful. Well, kind of in their own disease-ridden way, of course, they're beautiful. Now, I've yet to spend too much time in the new Dark Zone, okay? Like I said, we went through Legendary Mode, we went through Last Stand and things like that, so we were, like, hectic last night. But the time I have spent in these open areas opened my eyes to what I believe the Dark Zone should have been from day one, and I really do hope that in the future, be it Massive, Red Storm, whoever, look at a rework for the current Dark Zone brackets 1 to 6, as I feel there's an awful lot of wasted potential in a very large area that we've seen maximised in the new areas. But, you know, overall, guys, the new Dark Zone, absolutely beautiful. I definitely recommend you go and check it out. Now, that's a quick talk about the good bits in the update, guys. Let me now touch on some of the bad bits, okay? First up, I want to talk about something I've seen a lot of people talking about, and I've personally experienced the issue, and that is the whole self-heal and medkit nerf. Now, first of all, let's look at the self-heal point, because there seems to be two ways of looking at this, okay? First of all, the self-heals are pretty poor. If you're not spec'd into electronics like myself, you spec towards firearms and toughness, then you don't have very good electronics. I think I'm sitting at like 2,800 electronics, and that is not good for a self-heal. On the other hand, what you've got to look at, guys, is we have like an extra 150,000 base health. So even if the self-heals weren't nerfed, they would definitely be doing less because we now have higher base health rather than armor. Do I think the self-heal nerf was a step too far? Yes, I do believe it needed a little tweak, but I think they've overstepped it in the way in which it works. But we can live with it, okay? Spec a little bit more evenly in your build. Find yourself a nice balance between firearms, toughness, maximum health, electronics, you know, is very, very good. If you work as a team, and obviously you have team builds, then you have reclaimers, you have tacticians, things like that can bring the highest skill power to the team, meaning you can then spec more towards your firearms if you're a player like myself, and that is what I do. We have George, he has a tactician build, he has a reclaimer build. It works very, very nicely as a team, but from a solo point of view, I definitely think it was overstepped with the self-heal. But the self-heal is not as big an issue to me as the medkit nerf, okay? So medkits have taken the nerf. If you guys haven't found out yet, then I'm sure you will very quickly, that if you pop a medkit now, you don't instantly get the full effect. What you do is you get like next to nothing as an instant heal, and then it gives you a heal over time. Now, my problem with this is that they've obviously reworked the way that skill power works, and that's given us poor self-heals as it is for probably a lot of people. To then think, okay, right, fine. We know about the skill power nerf. We know that we've got to spec into electronics, but I don't want to spec into electronics. I want to keep my build as is with firearms, toughness. That's cool. What I will do is I will use my medkit to heal myself when I get to low health. You get into a PvP firefight or even a PvE firefight, you pop your medkit and boom, nothing. You get no heal back and you die because the time in which it takes the health to regen, you've taken X amount of damage and you are dead. Now, I really think that the guys overstepped the mark here with nerfing the medkits with the combination of the self-heal nerfs that came with skill power. But that is just my personal opinion. I would personally like to see medkits go back to the way they were. You pop them, you get X amount of health back. You know, the fact that we've had an increase to maximum health, I wouldn't expect the medkits to have been as effective as they were before. But to nerf them in the fashion that they have, in my opinion, highly unacceptable, not good. It slowed the gameplay down. It has made for very poor situations in PvP, and I personally am not a fan of it. Now, of course, guys, as always, I would love to hear your thoughts down below. How have you found 1.6 so far? How have you found Last Stand? Did you buy Last Stand if you haven't got a season pass? If you haven't, I recommend you do. But overall, guys, let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Make sure to come stop on by Twitch, because we're going to be doing an awful lot of live streaming, especially over this weekend. There is a community event going on that myself and a lot of other streamers, YouTubers will be taking part in. That's going to be live on Twitch on various different channels, so come and check it out. But for now, guys, I'm going to wrap the video up. One final thing before we do wrap up though, I'd like to know what kind of videos you guys would like to see, ASAP on the channel. Hit me up in the comment section down below what kind of things you want to see quickly and what things you think can wait until, the hype train has died down and we're a few weeks into Last Stand. But yeah, guys, thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. There are plenty more Division videos coming your way. And as always, agents, thank you very much for watching. Until the next video, I'll catch you all soon.